Do you know maximum lifespans of human on earth? It's 110 years. So everyone dies. Everyone undergoes aging. No one is immortal. So all human beings on this earth, they undergo aging. Aging is a inevitable process that cannot be avoided. We can delay it, but we cannot stop this process. It is an ongoing process which continuously takes place in human body. So that's aging. In this video, I am going to teach you aging. Let's start aging. So what is aging? How does aging occurs? Aging results from progressive decline in the cellular function and viability of the cell. It is caused by either genetic abnormality and or it is due to the accumulation of cellular damage due to the effects of exposure of some exogenous influences. That's aging. Now in India, due to improved healthcare, the average lifespan of human beings increased from 26 years to 64 years nowadays. Maximum, as I've told you, maximum human lifespan, it is 110 years as per records on earth. So, on what factors the life expectancy of an individual depends? There are 4 factors on which the life expectancy of humans depend. Number 1, it is intrinsic genetic process. So, gene controlling the response to endogenous and exogenous factors, they differ from human to human. That's why there is different life expectancy which differ from human to human. Long life runs in the family. If the grandfather, father in the maternal side, on the paternal side, if they have long life, so it is more chances their children will also have long life, right? Environmental factors are there. So we are exposed continuously to the pollution, many chemicals, physical, chemical, biological influences are there, which are constantly acting on human body. That is environmental factors. The lifestyle of an individual as a result of alcohol, smoking, drug addiction, or there are some age-related diseases, right? So on these factors, the life expectancy of an individual depends. Now, in this lecture, the most important thing is the theories which leads to aging. So there are many theories proposed by different scientists. The most important among them is one which is known as telomere theory. So there are other theories also, but the most important here to understand is telomere theory. So let me explain you what is telomere theory. So all cells, human body is made up of cell. From head to toe, we are made up of cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life, right? All cells divide. So by mitosis, the cell do cell division. From one cell, 2 cells are formed after cell division. So cell divide and ultimately after 60 to 70 number of times after dividing, it stops dividing. It comes in a terminally non-dividing state that is known as senescence. After a fixed number of cell division, all somatic cell undergoes senescence. What do you mean by senescence? That is after 50, 60 or 70 cell division, cell is undergoing in terminally non-dividing state. This cell cannot be dividing now. This is known as senescence. Now, what is the mechanism of senescence? For understanding the mechanism of senescence, you should understand what is telomere, what is telomerase. So, let me teach you what is telomere first. What is telomere? Telomere, it is a repetitive segment of the DNA which is present at the end of the DNA. It is a repetitive segment. Let me show you. In human cell, there is nucleus. Inside nucleus, we have double-stranded DNA. Inside DNA, we have chromosomes. In this diagram, can you see these are the 2 chromosomes? These are the 2 chromosomes. So chromosomes are made up of double-stranded DNA. So you can appreciate this is the double-stranded DNA I'm talking about. In the nucleus of all cells, this is the double-stranded DNA. At the end of the DNA, there is a repetitive process. Can you see the repetitive process is GGATT. This repetitive process is known as telomere. So telomere, what is telomere? It is a short repetitive sequence of DNA, right? It is present at the ends of the chromosome. So at the ends of and what is their purpose? They protect the DNA. They protect the DNA from injurious agent, physical, chemical and biological. So at the 2 ends of all the chromosome, at both ends, these telomeres, the repetitive sequences are always present. So in this diagram, you can see I'm marking here at the ends of the chromosome, these are the telomeres. At the ends of the chromosome, at both ends of all chromosomes, these telomeres are present and they protect the chromosome. That is about the telomere. These are repetitive segments. Now the thing is that with every cell division, there is a small shortening in the length of this telomere. With every cell division, there is shortening. So you can see here in this diagram, okay, let me show you. This is a cell. These are the telomeres, okay. These are the telomeres I am drawing here present at the end of the chromosome. Can you appreciate the telomere? Yes. So this cell is undergoing cell division. This cell is undergoing cell division. After cell division, if you can appreciate, there is a small decrease in length. There is small decrease in length of these telomere. There is small decrease in length, right? This length is decreasing. So with every cell division, it decreases. Now there is an enzyme. The name of the enzyme is telomerase. There is an enzyme which is known as telomerase. Telomerase enzyme is a RNA protein enzyme that can again lengthen the shortened telomere. The telomere which is already shortened, it will repair it and again maintain the normal length of the telomere. So telomerase is also present in the nucleus of all human cells. So it is using its own RNA as a template and it adds the nucleotide, and the telomere length can be regained again. The length of the telomere is normal and it is maintained again with the help of this enzyme. So we have understood two things till now. What is telomere? It is a segment of DNA which is present at the ends of the chromosome, and it protects the DNA which is present in middle, which is present in the center, right? Now with every cell division, the length of the telomere decrease, it shortens. But there is an enzyme known as telomerase. This enzyme acts on the telomere after every cell division and helps the telomere to regain or maintain the normal length again. So this happens. So you can see here in this diagram, can you see this? I'm marking here. This is telomerase enzyme and it is adding the telomere again. It is adding the telomere which is shortened here and maintaining the normal length again. So this is how the process takes place. In this diagram also, you can see this is telomere. Let me draw the telomere. This one is the repetitive sequence telomere and this is the enzyme. This is the enzyme telomerase. So it is adding the length which is already shortened in the last cell division and maintaining the length, right? So that is about telomere and telomerase. But the point here is that with age, the activity of telomerase declined. The activity of telomerase decreased with age. So as the age increases after 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years of age, the activity of telomerase is decreasing. Now what will happen if telomerase is non-functional or decreased activities there? What will happen? With every cell division, the telomere will shorten, but now there is no one to regain its length again because telomerase is non-functional with age. So the length of the telomere cannot be regained again. You got my point? So telomerase activity is declining with age and here it is not regaining again. So at one point, there is no telomere. All the telomere is depleted after some cell division. It is depleted because telomerase is not there and its activity is declined or absent and there is no one to regain its length again. So all the telomere is depleted. Now there is no one to protect the chromosomes. So there is no one to protect the chromosomes. So cell stops cell division and this is known as senescence. That is the most important theory given for aging. So aging, senescence leads to aging. You got my point? So this is the thing you can see here on the diagram. At the ends, you can appreciate this is telomere. These are the telomeres at the ends of the chromosome. With cell division, it is reducing in length. Can you appreciate? The length is reduced. The length is reduced. But now there is no telomerase to regain the length. So at one point, there is zero. There is no telomere at all. All the telomere is reduced to it is depleted and it is reduced to zero. There is no telomere. So these chromosomes cannot be protected now. No one is there to protect it. So they will stop cell division. P53 will come in role. It is a DNA repair enzyme. It will come in role and it is a DNA repair gene and it will stop the cell division that is known as senescence. So you can see this is how cell death takes place. This is how senescence takes place and this is the most important mechanism of aging. So you can read the same thing in this flowchart also. With every cell division, there is progressive shortening of the telomere. Telomeres are the thing present at the tips of the chromosome. Shortened telomere is repaired again with the help of a RNA enzyme known as telomerase. But after repetitive mitosis, after a maximum 60 to 70 number of times of cell division, the activity of telomerase is declining now. With age, it is declining, it is non-functional. Now the lost telomere is not repaired. It will remain shortened only. At one point, the nucleus of the cell will have no telomere. So DNA cannot be protected at this point. If DNA cannot be protected at this point, there is activation of P53, which is a DNA repair gene. Activation of P53 will cause no mitosis. It will halt the cell division, and this is known as cellular senescence, which leads to aging. This is the most important mechanism or theory for the aging you can see. Same is seen in this diagram also. Appreciate the ends, appreciate the telomere at the end of the chromosome, and appreciate with every cell division the length is decreasing, and ultimately it is becoming 0 or below a critical level. At this point, P53 will come in role and stop the cell division, and senescence will occur. Now, in human body, there are 3 types of cells. Some cells are germ cells, some cells are stem cells, and some cells are somatic cell. So you can see the length of the telomere length of the germ cell is always maintained because telomerase is always activated in them. There is no decline of telomerase in germ cell. In stem cell, there is little bit decline in telomerase activity with time, with age. So there is little bit decline in the length of the telomere. But what about somatic cell? It is at rapid growth. You can see it is at rapid rate. It is declining at rapid rate. But if the reactivation of telomerase takes place in somatic cell, it can lead to cancer. It can lead to cancer. So one of the theory of cancer, of neoplasia, is reactivation of telomerase enzyme in somatic cell. So because of the reactivation, the cell division will be very fast and it can lead to cancer. So that is the thing. This is the most important theory. But apart from it, some small theories are also there. For example, genetic control in invertebrates. It is not in humans, in vertebrates. In invertebrates, in lower animals, we have found a gene. The name of the gene is clock gene. That gene, what that gene is doing, that gene is controlling the rate and time of the aging. CLOCK1 gene mutation prolongs the lifespan, but unfortunately such gene is not yet discovered in human. But maybe we are not knowing it and it is present in human body and still it is not discovered. So it can happen. But in lower animal, the name of this gene is CLOCK gene, right? This is the second theory, right? The third theory, there are some diseases with accelerated aging. Let me give you 2 examples here. The first disease is progeria, right? You may be knowing what is progeria. It is a disease in which accelerated aging takes place, right? So in small age only, in childhood only, the person looks like the person is 60-70 years of age. It is accelerated aging in human body, right? The second is Werner syndrome. It is also autosomal recessive disorder in which premature aging takes place, Werner syndrome. So progeria and Werner syndrome in which premature or accelerated aging takes place, and here the person will have baldness, cataract, coronary artery diseases. The child will have these diseases. These are the diseases of old age, but a child can have it because of the premature or accelerated aging. That is the third theory we can say. The last and important theory here is the oxidative stress hypothesis, that is free radical injury. Right. So in cell injury lecture, we have learned one of the mechanism of cell injury is free radical formation. That is reactive oxygen species. We know there are 3 types of free radicals: superoxide ion, H2O2 hydrogen peroxide ion, and OH negative hydroxyl ion. Right, these 3 ions are the free radical. They cause the cell damage, but we have enzymes to remove them. What are the enzymes? The first and most important enzyme is superoxide dismutase. The second is glutathione, and third is catalase. So these are the scavengers for free radical injury. But with age, these enzymes decline. So with age, the scavenger enzymes are declining. So free radical formation, the free radical formation is generating. They are forming and they are failed to eliminate it because the enzyme activity is declining. So they will accumulate in the cell and they will cause cell damage that can lead to aging. So these are the 4 important theory. The most important is telomere theory that you have to understand. Others are also important, but you should be able to enumerate them and say a little bit about them. Now, with aging, tell me the organ changes. In various organs, what are the changes taking place with aging? So let me talk about cardiovascular system. In cardiovascular system, it is atherosclerosis with calcification, monkey bug calcification, and brown atrophy of the heart. These changes takes place in cardiovascular system. If you talk about nervous system, the brain and spinal cord, the nervous system, so atrophy of the sulci and gyri in the brain, right? Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, they occurs with aging. If we talk about musculoskeletal system, so in musculoskeletal system, it is degenerative bone disorder, frequent fractures of the bone, and muscular degeneration, you can say. Right. If we talk about the eyes, in the eyes, there is deterioration of the vision due to cataract and vascular changes in the retina. If we talk about the hearing, the ear, so there is disability in hearing due to senile otosclerosis. If we talk about the immune system, there is reduced IgG response to the antigen, so chances of infection are increased in old age. If we talk about the skin, there is laxity of the skin due to loss of elastic tissue in the skin. If we talk about the cancers, 80% of the cancers occurs in age 50 to 80 years. That is, increased age में chances of having cancer is more. So that is about the organ changes. So what we have learned in this lecture. So what is a summary? What we have learned in this video? In this video, we have learned what is aging. Aging is inevitable process. It takes place in the cell. So all the cells undergo aging, that is senescence. So what is senescence? After 60 to 70 cell division, cells stop cell division. Do not do much cell division, further cell division. That is known as senescence. Why it happens? So the most important theory here is telomerase theory. What is telomerase theory? What is telomere? These are the repeated sequences of DNA present at the tips of the chromosome. They protect the chromosome. So with every cell division, the length of the telomere decline, right? But this length is again regained, is again maintained by an enzyme. The name of the enzyme is telomerase. It is an RNA enzyme present in the nucleus. So with every cell division, the length is declining and telomerase is again maintaining the length. But the problem is that with age, after 60 to 70 cell division, the activity of telomerase enzyme is declined. Now it is not functional. So with another cell division, with further cell division, the length will decline. The length of the telomere will decline. But telomerase is not there to regain it. That's why at one point, telomere will be 0 and there is no one to protect the chromosome. Telomere is not there. Telomere is not protecting the chromosome. It is depleted. It is all depleted. Now, P53 will come in role and it will cause cell division, stoppage of the cell division. So there is no cell division, that is known as senescence, and it will lead to aging. So you can see this in this diagram. You can see the tips of the chromosome, that is telomere. Here they are shortening with every cell division, but there is no telomerase to regain after a certain age, and telomere is depleted, is completely depleted. That leads to senescence, cell death or aging. So that's all about this lecture.